Hello and welcome to another episode of Drafting with Dave. Here with me is a new one. This is Opal. Hey Opal.
Hi.
And Opal is going to help me draft a little M20 today. We're going to do this one again since I have so much gold. I just feel like it's pretty unnecessary. I don't know what else you're supposed to use gold for in Magic Arena, so I'm just going to spend it on this. Alright, so we have Shifting Ceratops, which is a pretty solid card. We have Howling Giant, which is strong, but honestly the Shifting Ceratops is probably just the best pick here. It's a solid rare, 5/4, can't be countered, pro blue. The reach is really powerful in limited. Haste is fine. Trample is relevant sometimes, and if you can put some enchantment buffs on it or something, it's fine. Also, if you have a Leafkin Druid, you can cast this guy a turn earlier, which is pretty cool. There's nothing really much else going on in this pack. I do love Howling Giant, but it is difficult to cast some games. Isn't it, Opal? Audacious Thief, the other card that I really like in this booster, but the Shifting Ceratops gets the pick. And here we have Chandra's Outrage, which is very strong. Might go for red-green aggro deck again. Do you want down? Okay, well thank you for helping me for a little bit. Say bye, Opal.
Bye.
I like drafting with Georgie, I think. A little bit more. Opal likes to do his own thing. Georgie's more of a team player. So, for this pick, looking at the Sky Knight Vanguard, pretty solid. Ironroot Treefolk, or Ironroot Warlord, pretty solid. However, Chandra's Outrage is just really solid removal, and I think that it's important to take removal relatively early on in this format. We could also take the Netcaster Spider, seeing as how it's the only green card in the pack, and try to cut green. But I think that Chandra's Outrage is probably just more powerful than the Spider, and we're not 100% committed to any specific color right now as it stands, but it's good to have. So in this pack, I really liked Winged Words. I think it's really, really good. Another Netcaster Spider, Blood for Bones is fantastic. I also really, really like these lands. I do love drawing cards, so Winged Words is really good, but I'm going to go with the Flame Sweep here because if you can get a 2-for-1 off that card, it's rather nice. So this pack has Bone Splinters, which I like very much. A third Netcaster Spider, which we could take. It'd be a pretty solid 3-drop, rather than going into blue just for Lightning Stormkin. I really only see Lightning Stormkin being good in a blue-red aggro kind of deck with something like, I haven't actually built this yet, but I'd really like to. If you could draft, I don't know how well this would work in traditional draft, because people have a lot of sideboard options like Plummet and opposing Cerulean Drakes and Reckless Airstrikes. A lot of these cards end up in people's sideboards, but if you're only playing best of one, I think it's totally possible to build a really aggressive Fairy Miscreant, Maniacal Rage aggro deck with just flyers, really cheap blue flyers that you just throw enchantments on and just go at them. For the sake of this video, I'm going to attempt to draft that. I'm not sure that we will be able to actually build that, and also playing a card like Flame Sweep in that build is very, very strong because your creatures don't have flying. This is a very aggressive card, one of the most aggressive cards in draft, and I also think it's the best card in this pack, so I'm just going to take that. Brineborn Cutthroat, the pick here, I think Reduced to Ashes is also very solid, but if we are going to try to force this draft with a blue-red aggro, like I was saying, then that's really where we want to be, and there's a Fairy Miscreant. Things like Maniacal Rage are very easy to pick up early on. There's another Cerulean Drake. In this deck, you could play things like Heart Piercer Bow, which is pretty solid in multiples to take out opposing flyers. In this pack, we have Bone Splinters, relatively solid. Removal. Salvager of Ruin is not very good. However, with if I wind up drafting a ton of Fairy Miscreants, then that's kind of where I want to be in order to potentially save one and then get the trigger again. The Zephyr Charge is also another possibility. I could make my other guys fly and then Flame Sweep. But I think we just want to have a really solid curve here. I don't really see us splashing black for something like Bone Splinters. It is really good removal though, and probably going to do something every single game if we were to cast this, whereas Salvager of Ruin is just a 2/1 for 3 and doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot. So I think the pick here is probably Bone Splinters. I do want to force this draft though, like I was saying, so there's another Maniacal Rage to throw on our really cheap creatures. I did take the Bone Splinters here, but I want to keep our options open, and Shifting Ceratops is not necessarily a splashable card, but if we wind up going Teamer, then that's what we're going to wind up doing. I'm going to take the Zephyr Charge, I think, or take this because we have a lot of flyers, but I'll take the Zephyr Charge. These picks don't really matter terribly too much. Fortress Crab. Okay, in this pack we have another Fairy Miscreant, which hopefully will table Chandra's Outrage number 2, which is what we're going to take here. This card is not very good in my opinion. When it comes down, it is a gigantic 8/8, absolutely. However, something as little as a Bone Splinters will just take this out. Rapid Bite is not very good against this card. Chandra's Outrage is not very good. Sleep Paralysis, Pacifism. Those are not very good cards against this card. However, getting to 8 mana reliably is kind of difficult. And I've definitely beaten this card just about every time that it's been cast against me. I'm taking the Chandra's Outrage. We are trying to be as aggressive as possible with this deck. With that said, here is another very aggressive card, which allows us to pump our little guys. If we're doing it on our opponent's turn, then we get a little bit more value out of a card like Brineborn Cutthroat. Mask of Immolation is a decent card, but a 1/1 for 2 isn't very good in my opinion. It just doesn't really do enough. If you were to throw a Maniacal Rage on it, then it makes it a little bit better, but you're already throwing a bad card on another card. It would give us a way to finish the game out, especially with things like Chandra's Outrage being in our deck, but it just doesn't do a heck of a lot. The Infuriate will probably table though. I'm just going to take the Mask of Immolation, even though I don't really like it as a card. In this pack we have Winged Words, which is probably the correct pick here. We don't have that many flyers, but I can't say no to drawing 2 cards, and we needed that. This pack is fantastic. We have an Air Elemental and a Frost Lynx. I'm going to take the Air Elemental because it is somewhat of a bomb. Also, we have a card like Lavacan Brawler, which allows us to get more damage in with being that this is an elemental, being that this is an elemental. It is a 4-drop, which is kind of a bummer, and it's somewhat expensive, but it is on theme. We are just trying to turn everything sideways. Here's another pretty solid pickup. This is an elemental, and I feel like I need to take this over this because removal is just very strong. We're not going to take a card like Moat Piranhas here because we're not really a control-ish kind of a deck. This is a fairly aggressive card in the right circumstances. However, what we're trying to do is like I said, draft as many fairy miscreants as possible and then tutor them. I don't see any more fairy miscreants in this round, but here the goblin will work fine. Here's another fairy miscreant. Very nice. Befuddle is the pick here. That's fine. It's an elemental. Negate is definitely a main deckable card. Anticipate will wind up playing because of the curve. Okay, so luckily nothing is really competing with this card in the pack, and I think that Drawn from Dreams is a very, very solid card. We already have 2 Chandra's Outrage, so you know this doesn't really hurt our curve very much. We don't have a lot of 4-drops. Probably not playing this Fortress Crab. Let's get that out of there. Sideboard. Let's get this out of here. Let's get the Fortress Crab out of here. Shifting Ceratops out of here. Rule of Law can go bye-bye. Befuddle can go bye-bye. Bone Splinters go away. Zephyr Charge. Probably not going to play this Heartpiercer Bow. Again, it is a lot different playing this ranked one-on-one than it is playing the traditional. And I actually, so far, as far as I can tell, I prefer playing the traditional because I think making use of your sideboard is such an imperative and important part of drafting. It's underutilized, and if you are a better Magic player, I think you can really hone in on that and take advantage of drafting cards like Plummet, take advantage of drafting cards like Reckless Airstrike, and just really make use of, you know, the fact that you can actually make more decisions. So I actually am preferring the traditional than this one-on-one thing, but I'm going to take Drawn from Dreams here. This pack has a second Brineborn Cutthroat, again a fairly aggressive card, and another solid 2-drop. Here we have a third Chandra's Outrage. I cannot pass that up. Here we have another 2-drop flyer we can throw Maniacal Rage on. Here's another Pattern Matcher, but there's not really much we're looking at here. I think the correct choice is probably the Boreal Elemental. I do like Reduce to Ashes, but we have so much good removal already, and I'm not impressed with Reduce to Ashes the more that I play it. I think Elemental is the correct choice here. This could be the Menace 6/5, it's not bad. Convolute would be a relatively decent 3-drop, which also goes very well with our Cutthroats. However, Anticipate really finds us what it is that we're looking for in the moment. It's a 2-drop. And this deck is kind of looking to just play as many 2-drops as possible, it looks like. So that is something to think about. I do like Convolute to get rid of their best card, and it also turns on the Brineborn Cutthroat, but if we play 2 Anticipates, I think that we can reasonably get away with running like 16 lands, so I'm just going to take the Anticipate here. And we have another Metropolis Sprite, which we can throw a Maniacal Rage on, which is very cool. Scorch Splitter, probably the pickup here. Again, not a very good card, but if we throw a Maniacal Rage on it, it's fine. Fire Elemental is probably the choice. A third Maniacal Rage, or a Vial of Dragonfire. I'm going to go with the Maniacal Rage. A third Anticipate. Our deck is Prismite. I should have taken the other one. Yeah, I definitely should have taken the other card. Gem reward. We got 20 gems. Woohoo! So we can actually draft traditional, which is, like I said, what I've been preferring recently. We're not going to main deck the Reckless Airstrike, I don't think. But probably going to run all 3 of these Anticipates. It just seems correct. Pattern Matcher can come out, although I do like it grabbing a Cutthroat, Fire Elemental, and Air Elemental, although that would be really cool for, you know, the old nostalgia of playing a format like, you know, back in the day when you had unlimited. I don't know if I'm dating myself now, but Zephyr Charge is going to come out. So we have to cut 7 cards. I think this can come out. We aren't splashing green for anything. Fairy Miscreant is a fairy rogue. The Scorched Spitter is fine with Maniacal Rage, but it's not like game winning at all, and it just doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot. It does get some damage in, but you know, I'm never going to just pick a Scorched Spitter. So one of the ways that you can I'm never really going to pick a Scorched Spitter off of an Anticipate. One of the ways that you can kind of judge like whether or not you want to play a card or not is just imagine that it's, you know, any point in the game and you just cast Anticipate. So if you have to decide between like 3 different cards, which card do you actually want to take at relatively, like at any point in the game? You're probably never going to want the Scorched Spitter on turn 3 after casting an Anticipate. So I'm just actually not going to play Scorched Spitter, period. It does deal damage to them no matter what, which is relatively good in conjunction with, you know, our 3 Chandra's Outrages, which is just nuts. And although I did want to draft a very aggressive blue-red deck, I only picked up 2 Fairy Miscreants, surprisingly. Not very many. Cerulean Drake is probably not going to be played, and the reason for that is I can't even target it with the Maniacal Rage. I didn't take the Convolute, and so Negate might be worth playing simply based on the fact that we do have 2 Cutthroats, which is pretty strong, but I'm actually going to take the Fairy Miscreants out. I don't think that they're playable unless you draft like 5 or 6 of them, and even then it's not very good, even with a card like Maniacal Rage, which I just wanted to try for fun, honestly, but I do think that you could build a really strong red-blue aggressive flying deck if you drafted enough of those. This may be too many 2-drops, potentially. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, we do have 3 Anticipates. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I think we can get away with actually playing 16 lands. I'm actually going to cut one of these and run a Befuddle because it's a 3-drop. There's a glitch in my game right now. I'm not really sure what's going on. It won't allow me to click this card. So I'm going to take those out. So we have 2 Maniacal Rage in our deck, 16 lands. We top out at Air Elemental and Boreal Elemental. We have 3 Anticipates, so we're looking to just, you know, start the game off with 2 lands, hopefully a red and a blue, and just go wild on them, you know. Turn 2, Brineborn Cutthroat. This is what we're looking at here. We have 13 2-drops, probably the most I've ever drafted in a very long time. But yeah, so this is what we're looking at, and we're trying to just get them dead, kill them as soon as possible, take out their flyers with Chandra's Outrage, and just try to get in for those little points of damage over a long period of time. So without further ado, let's try this and get it going. Let's get it going. This is not a very aggressive hand, but we do have an Air Elemental and we are on the play. I'm going to keep this. We don't have any Ember Haulers or anything like that, so I don't think it really matters whether we play. I don't think it really matters what we play first, but the Flame Sweep could get us some insane value. We'll see. Okay, so it kills 1 card so far. I would like to try to get them to deploy as many permanents as possible. Meaning this Befuddle could get used right now. Draw some extra land, hopefully get them to play another 2-drop or something small. And they didn't play anything at all here, so we're going to pass the turn back, We could grow the Brineborn Cutthroat to survive our Flame Sweep. It's possible. I just don't want it to become a liability. So, play the Brineborn Cutthroat. They could have a shock. I don't really want to put a Maniacal Rage on it right now, but I'm just going to pass the turn back. Make it Feral Invocation or something like that, in which case I would probably do that in response, but as it stands, if they're just, you know, chipping away little by little, it's not exactly where I want to be. I don't want to trade 2 cards for 2 cards, I want to trade 1 card for a lot of cards. Let's anticipate Grow our Cutthroat. We'll take an island. Let's play our Lightning Storm Can and get in for some damage. They might have a shock here. Or not. Oh, they have a Flame Sweep. Okay. Yep, that's fine. So that explains why they weren't casting anything. Yep. Yep. And now we're going to get extra value when we Flame Sweep them. We have 3 Chandra's Outrages in our hand. Pretty sick. I'm going to Air Elemental here. Force them to Bone to Ash our guy. If they don't, I'm going to Maniacal Rage this and put it out of range of their Bone to Ash. There's not a lot that red-green can do against 6/6 flyers, so let's get in there. I will probably Flame Sweep in response to attackers being declared to save myself from 5 damage. That's fine. And now I'm not afraid of any combat tricks, so we can safely block and kill one of these things. I should have killed that in response. Definitely messed up. Definitely messed that up. Oh, also my Air Elemental can't block because Maniacal Rage is a bad card. I forgot I'm playing bad cards. Sorry, guys. We should have just ended the game this turn. I messed up big time. Whoops. Oops. So this is going to become, yeah. Four, 5, 6, we're at 2, and then we kill them this turn. So, punted, definitely. Forgot Maniacal Rage made it so that my creature can't block. I'm bad at Magic. Oops. But we still won. Silly me. So that's something to take into consideration. You can use Maniacal Rage as a removal spell, which makes it good, right? Right, guys? Right? No, Maniacal Rage is not a good card. This hand's fine. I would really prefer that I was on the play, but Lightning Stormkin is pretty good. Start with a mountain, pass the turn, and you know, if we can actually draw more lands like we just did, it's pretty good. I'm gonna run this guy out, maybe get in a couple points of damage before they have an opportunity to murder it. And Pris here, I'm gonna show off your new pants on our stream.
What?
I got new shorts. Yeah.
Why are you so tan?
Am I really?
Yeah.
Just in the outward, I guess.
You need to get brown.
We got eaten by mosquitoes
Well, I
though.
didn't stay out. Like, I only got, like, I went in the sun a lot, but I was, like, very personal increments.
I'm peeling.
I'm gonna play this Winged Words here, and
You guys have like
I think that makes the most sense because it's a sorcery,
Oh, no,
and
so
I have two
I
Brineborn Cutthroats in my deck.
That was on desert.
So I want to save the Anticipates for something like that. Audacious Thief is really good. Them getting to draw a card is unfortunate. Definitely going to Flame Sweep here at this point, though, I think. The other thing that I could do is Metropolis Sprite and then Anticipate during their end step, which is possibly correct. You know, it's like a free shock, but they're drawing so many cards. I don't really want them to draw more cards. But we do have threats on the board, so it's hard to say the correct play here, but I think, you know, I'd like to utilize my mana as much as possible. However, I think it's probably correct to just 2-for-1 them. Maybe not. Maybe not. Nah. I'm just gonna go for it. And this puts them to 11, and then I can attack back for 4. And then if I draw a land off the Anticipate, I can play the Air Elemental and finish them off that way. Hopefully they don't have a spider or something. Okay, so they have a Vial of Dragonfire. That's fine. I'm just going to Anticipate now. Brineborn Cutthroat, like I said, very good. Anticipate, not very good with Flame Sweep though. And they're using it now. Also the Metropolis Sprite. Make sure that we make very good use of our mana. I think the correct play is probably to Air Elemental, or I could Flame Sweep and then follow it up with the Cutthroat, but I would like to just get in as much damage as possible. And they're not likely to attack now unless they have some sort of pump spell, which is possible. That's terrifying. Oh boy. I don't really have many answers to that outside of a reduce to ashes. The lifelink is definitely problematic. They're not likely to swing with their Audacious Thief, but if they swing with everything, I can potentially Flame Sweep, clear the board, and then Cutthroat, hit them for 6, and then finish them off with the Mask of Immolation. To note, we do also have 3 Chandra's Outrages in this deck, which is insane, so we're not going to just automatically lose to this. but I think we don't really want this to trigger twice off of that.
You know what? Did you ever put the deodorizer in the toilet?
No, I never did. Makeup.
Oh.
Holding water in the bath.
2 cards. Frostwinks,
Can we shut the
Chandra's Outrage.
I can't right now.
Make a token, pass the turn. So we have 3 damage right there, which is solid. And block here, sack, deal them a point of damage.
Is this your cat? What? Is this yours? Okay, right now, okay.
That way they don't get any life. If they have a netcaster spider, I kill it with the outrage and swing for the win. Or I just tap it with the frostwings, but I think we have this one. So he's trying to draw cards. Yeah, good game. Ooh, we just went up in rank. Silver, tier 1. What did we get? What did we get? Ignite the beacon. Playing against Wobble 93. Our opponent is on the play. We have lands, which is fine. Maniacal Rage is not very good. Without creatures, I'm going to mull this. This is much better. I'm going to keep this. And I think we are going to put the Goblin Bird Grabber on the bottom here. Ooh. So they're the ones that took all the Fairy Miscreants. Again, Fairy Miscreants, not a very good card. It just dies to this, it dies to everything. But I did want to draft as many as possible, and unfortunately we only got 2. Hopefully I'll be able to make a video soon showcasing what I was attempting to do, likely in a traditional draft rather than ranked. But, you know, you do what you can. Okay, so they're not representing any pump, or they probably would have attacked with the Miscreant. Portal Sanctuary, we know how much I love that card. I'm going to swing here. And I'm going to Winged Words because we need to hit our mana. There's one. Flame Sweep is going to do some work. Might do a lot more work than I imagine. Flame Sweep is going to do some work. Drawn from Dreams, really solid. Hit them for 1 in the air. I don't think they have Pump, but I also don't want them bouncing or saving anything, so I'm just going to Flame Sweep here. 3 for 1. And I feel a lot safer now to sit back, try and draw some lands. Okay, get in for another point of damage.
Oh, great, get back. Come back to your truck for a sec.
And I would like to continue to hit my land drops. Deploy the air elemental as soon as possible, the boreal elemental. I don't really want to draw lands with this card, but I'm going to take the Chandra's Outrage, and I'm going to take a Frostlings. Blood for Bones, likely returning Audacious Thief. Yep. And it looks like they tapped their mana wrong. There's our 5th land. I actually do care about them drawing cards off of this because we have so much card advantage at this point that I don't really want to waste that, but I also don't want to spend a Chandra's Outrage on it, so I'm going to Frostlinks this guy and then play a second Metropolis Sprite. I might wind up using this Maniacal Rage as a removal spell later on, because right now I want to continue to deploy as many threats as possible. That would have been much better with the Fairy Miscreant. I am going to Chandra's Outrage this, even though it's not a flyer. Pump our Metropolis Sprite 1. And swing in for 5. I think we might get that Iron Root Warlord, guys. Just have to win a couple more games. Undefeated so far. And an Audacious Thief. We're now at 6 mana. I think the correct play here is probably Lavakin Brawler plus Lightning Stormkin. And swing in with everything, including the Frostlinks. I don't mind if they block. They're at 4. And outside of something like Planar Cleansing, I don't see them winning this game. And it doesn't look like they have 3 white mana, so. So far, pretty successful little draft we have here. Red, blue, aggro. We might even get to gold tier. Very cool. 4 more wins, and we have that Iron Root Warlord alternate art, or full screen art, or whatever it's called, extended art. I don't know. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, share, and follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook, etc. This hand is not super good. We are on the draw. I think I'm going to take it. I'm going to keep this hand anyway. We have Befuddle in case they're an aggressive deck, so we'll see how it goes. Plus, Drawn from Dreams will find us anything that we want. This card's very good. We didn't draft a lot of bombs, but we did get 3 Chandra's Outrage and an Air Elemental. I mean, not too shabby. Cool, very cool. So we're gonna play Brineborn Cutthroat during their end step, and pump it a little bit with the Befuddle, hopefully. Hanged Executioner, very nice. I can get rid of anything. Play the Cutthroat. Ooh, second Cutthroat is very cool. I don't really want to trade right now. This costs 4. I'm gonna force them to have it. I don't want to lose my 2/1 to simple token. So and these Cutthroats are super cool. You know, with Befuddle, Chandra's Outrage, etc. As long as you cast them on your opponent's turn, you can really get some value. Alright, so they are going to be, let's see, it looks like they're making a 4/4 with this. Is that what's happening here? Choose one, and then, oh, okay, so they are choosing to do that, which is totally fine. It's going to be a, what, 4 something or other? It's going to be 4/5? Oh, they're choosing to fight it. So it fights a creature I don't control. Well, what if it doesn't have any...
It might be like 10 to 7 or something.
Yeah, what if it's too small to fight?
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, bye-bye.
That was the best Befuddle I have ever cast, and he even agreed. Thank you. So I will agree with him on that. I think correct thing here is to swing with the Cutthroat. If he'd like to remove it with the Hanged Executioner, that is fine. Probably won't. We're playing kind of a tempo game at this point. If he chooses to remove the Cutthroat, he winds up losing out on a turn of attacking, so. And I'm just going to follow it up with this. If he doesn't, and he chooses to return, okay, so he's returning that to his hand, that's fine. So I think the correct play here is probably to play the second Cutthroat, get in for more damage, but he's gaining 6 life here off of the pulse. I do need to get this off the board soon, so I'm going to Chandra's Outrage now. So he's only gaining like 4 life off of it, but then I hit him for 4 with the Cutthroat this following turn. And now he can't get rid of my creature, except for when he has a Hydra. And at that point, they'll just wind up trading. Ooh, strong. I didn't see that. So, nice. Okay, so he has a Frost Lynx. I think it's probably correct to play the Air Elemental here and get in for 4 damage. Now we have a reasonable blocker. And that was an amazing Befuddle. So good. Okay. Playing the Hydra, and he's doubling it, so that makes our Frostlings very good here. And play the Frostlings. Target the Hydra, and get in for some more damage. We can cast the Cutthroat during their end step for a little more damage. At this point, he will probably hang Executioner, my air elemental at some point. We don't have many answers for this Hydra. Sentry, that's fine. So he's not actually going to be able to execute. Make this guy a little bit bigger. And add another guy to the board. Play our land for the turn and drawn from dreams. I think Maniacal Rage seems fine. Let's view the battlefield real quick. Could make this guy bigger. Could make this guy bigger. Could make that guy bigger. I don't like Maniacal Rage here. I don't think it's very good. I think we might want the Anticipate. And we might want the Boreal Elemental, just to have another flyer to really seal the deal. Flying seems strong here. It's very mana intensive, but also harder to remove than our other cards. So, I think it might be correct to swing with everything here, try to get in as much damage as possible, and finish them off with Chandra's Outrage. Even if we wind up losing our Cutthroat to this Sentry, it is what it is. So he's blocking, actually. He's not even going to... okay. Not even going to use it. That's fantastic. So we can anticipate on his end step and pump these guys. Should be good. Oh my god. Okay. Wow, I will say nice to that. Very cool, man. That is huge. Oh boy. So he didn't attack. Let's anticipate. Try and get a... oh man, Maniacal Rage. Possibly winning us the game. Wow. And there's Outrage. Okay. So it has Vigilance, but it does not have Reach. This does not have Reach, and this does not have Reach. We are going to Maniacal Rage our Air Elemental. And swing with everything. So we didn't even need the Chandra's Outrage, but so yeah, thanks Maniacal Rage. Oops. Oh my god, I just punted. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh man, that was horrible. I can't believe I just made that mistake. Oh my god. Wow. That was an absolute misplay. That was a huge misplay. Oh my god.
I'm gonna go grab.
Punt of the century there. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Alright. Well, we have the Chandra's Outrage for the final little bits of damage. We need to draw another Outrage to finish them off. That Hydra's big, or we need another creature. A relatively decent sized creature. Oh man, I really blew that. I haven't played against this card before or played it myself though, to be fair. There's really no excuses. I blew this game. Wow. It's okay though. It's okay. I won't make that mistake again. Yeah. Wow. That guy's good. That guy's, it's an 8-6. And now he gets to just fight stuff? Oh my goodness. Oh no, he doesn't get to fight stuff. My bad, it's not there. I'm gonna do this now. And Maniacal Rage would win us the game, ladies and gents. So would another Chandra's Outrage. Do we have any more Maniacal Rages in our deck? I'm not sure. Flame Sweep? I'm not gonna do it. Oh boy, that was a... what a misplay. Hard to get over it. Okay, that's fine. That's a target for our Flame Sweep. Maybe he attacks. Nope. Perfect. There we go. That's a little guy. We will lose the frost links to our flame sweep though, unfortunately, so. Okay. Voracious Hydra. Wow. Flying and indestructible and trample. Oh my god. Negate? Why am I playing that card? Oh boy. Wow. I don't think we're winning this game. They have Serapha Skyblade. They just gained more. Oh boy. Oh boy. They go to 14. I think this game's over. Maybe not. Let's see what we get. I don't think that's going to do it. That's not going to do it. Good game. You have all the bombs. Okay, so it's possible for good players to lose. I'm just saying that. I'm not actually saying I'm a good player. Oh my goodness. What a blowout. Threw it away. I had all the answers. I just used them too soon. 2 Hydras? Wow. Our opponent is going first. We have 4 mountains. I'm gonna mull. I'm gonna keep this. Let's put that on the bottom. Interesting sleeves. What is that? Cool. Alright, let's get in for some damage. Maybe not yet. Yeah, let's play this first. I think that's correct. So we can follow it up with this guy. What do they have? Disfigure? What's going on here? Anticipate? Maybe they have the death touch thing. I don't know why it paused there. Blood Burglar. Okay. Oh, they could have unsummon. That's likely. Give him flying. Yep, I have unsummon. I will still offer the trade. Excuse me. A lich. That is getting outraged for sure. Love this card. So good. It's so good. I feel like once rotation happens, Tonebound Lich is probably going to see a lot of play in Standard. I'm gonna start looking for some foils now. I think I'm gonna outrage now. I don't want them to get more and more card advantage. So, but the Blood Burglar is definitely doing some work here. I might actually wind up outraging the Blood Burglar. It's an underrated card, I think. In the right deck, it can really do a lot of work. It also works very well with Audacious Thief. But yeah, these little 2-point life swings here, it's solid when it works. Okay, so they're spending a Frost Lynx. I think it's probably correct to save the outrage for later. I can eventually block this Blood Burglar if I drew like Anticipate into Anticipate, or just draw a bigger creature. So just gonna go for it now. Also, this following turn we can swing back for 6, potentially. Okay, maybe not. I could also trade the Cutthroat for the Blood Burglar. But I will have some mana now, so maybe that's incorrect. How much value do I want to get out of it? I think I can probably kill them in the air in 4 turns. I'm going to do it now. Of course, there's the Anticipate. So let's be efficient with our mana, shall we? Can use the Anticipate to find, hopefully find something like a Drawn from Dreams or Drawn to Dreams or whatever it's called. Or Air Elemental, just something to really close out the game here. Bird Grabber, not very good without flyers. Okay, so sleep paralysis. So it's going to stick around. He didn't actually kill it, so we can still enable the Bird Grabber, which is pretty good. And my Bone Splinters here. Nope. I'm taking the Maniacal Rage. I think it's a fast enough clock. Throw it on here.
Nick, do you have?
And now if they have a removal spell, we get 2 for 1. But if they don't, we can potentially just kill them in 2 turns. Death Touch, irrelevant, but they drew a card. And they have the Bone Splinter, so 2 for 1. Winged Words. And let's Let's play Boreal, Elemental. Moat Piranha's not going to do it. Another Maniacal Rage here. They can't murder it on the spot. They can next turn. But Moat Piranhas is not going to do it. And neither is that. Good game. Yep. So we got this one. All right, even closer to that Iron Root. Ooh, and we are almost to Gold tier, it looks like. What did we get? What did we get? Kasmina. Okay, 3 more wins. Can we do it? Can we do it? I think we can. I think we can. Our deck could have been a lot better with, you know, a Chandra, some stuff like that, but ooh, we're on the play. Very nice. Very solid hand to have on the play. And the other thing to take note of is that in this format, a lot of people do not have all of those hate cards. So I think that you can get away with playing a lot of decks that are just a little different. They don't have their plummets or reckless airstrikes. They don't have their cerulean drakes typically. I spoke too soon. So I am going to Maniacal Rage him and swing. Are they blocking? Nope. We're going to pump. I take 4, and I feel good about that. Silly. It's very silly. Do they murder? I don't know. I don't know. No, they have a Cloud Conceer that I am going to outrage and punch through for some more damage. I think my opponent thinks that he's going to race us, but he's not going to. Look at these sleeves. Those are kind of cool.
I don't know if I really have anything. What?
Audacious Thief. He's trying to draw some cards, but he also gave us another target for our... Ooh, Flame Sweep. Pretty solid. We'll be able to Flame Sweep plus Anticipate in the same turn. Could be good, could be good. Could also save the Flame Sweep to deal with more expensive threats. He could have some... He'd have a lot of things, but him taking damage from this could be part of our plan. I don't know. I think we're gonna play it safe here and just swing. We can kill him in 3 turns potentially. He does have this as a blocker though, so. But I definitely want to see more cards, so I do want to cast this Anticipate. And he's attacking with both. Interesting. So he's not ready to use it as a blocker yet. Maybe he has removal spells. Nope. He has a Cloud Conceer, but we are going to get a lot of value out of that. And hopefully he plays another small creature. Otherwise we punch through for 4. actually, at this stage in the game, I could outrage this, put him to 6, and then attack for 3, for 4. It would be 5 if. I'm going to anticipate here. And I'm going to take the. Let me take another anticipate. And I'm going to flame sweep. And the Cerulean Drake actually cannot stop Chandra's outrage. Winged Words, very solid draw. Yeah, babe.
We're leaving in half hour.
Okay. Swing in, put him to 5.
Are you recording?
Cast Winged Words. And that's a very good draw. We have Brandborn Cutthroat. Sad face. I think we pitch the Brandborn Cutthroat. That is a bummer. Okay. So the Cutthroat would have been good here. We'll anticipate again. Grab the creature, even though they can block it indefinitely. Play it anyway. And pass the turn. It could have been correct to hold on to a land. I don't think anything in here costs more than 5, so that was a mistake on my part. We have a 5/5. We can attempt to do something like that with it. There's our air elemental. Very nice. So now we can probably swing in for those final points of damage and close out this game. Let's see what else we have. Yep. I'll go to 10. I'm going to give him flying just to be funny. Okay, get rid of island. He has a Cloudkin Seer. We're going to outrage. Oh boy. Bummer. This game just got a lot closer. guess. It's not looking good. Yep. Good game. Shoot. Almost had it. And we almost had gold tier as well. I'm gonna look at my deck. It's been a few games. Let's see if we could do anything to it that would improve upon it at all. Kind of want to throw in this third maniacal rage. Maybe take out the bird grabber. I'm not super impressed with it. Do like all the anticipates. It's very cool. Fire elemental might not be bad, just so we have something to do with all of our extra mana. It would make the Lavacan Brawler a little bit better. I'm not entirely sure. Heartpiercer Bow is also an option. We can't really Maniacal Rage our own Cerulean Drakes, so I don't love that. Are opposing flyers an issue? Is it worth main decking a Reckless Airstrike? I don't know. But for the sake of maybe more consistency. I mean, the Frilled Sea Serpent could be fine. Unblockability is relatively decent, depending, but you know, it costs 6 mana and we're only playing 16 lands. I think Negate is going to get cut actually for the third Maniacal.
That's cute. You have people do that now? I mean, they'll do a class.
Okay, let's try again.
I like that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, when people normally do it now. I mean, if you look on like some site like anthropology or stuff, that's all they do.
Well, these actually look like I'm actually very good.
We're on the play. This is totally acceptable. Very nice hand. Start with an island. We have a turn 2 Cutthroat, turn 3 Frostlinks.
I have it. Oh yeah, okay. What's that?
Ship the turn back here.
Okay, so I'll be writing it up. We need to leave it in our
That's fine. Cutthroat. Might be correct to just Maniacal Rage this now. Try to punch through more damage. This card is a lot better than I gave it credit for. And 2 for 1. It's fine. We have a Lavacan Brawler, and this following turn we can Frostlinks, Mask of Immolation, and attack for an extra 3 points of damage. Never mind. We just became sleep paralyzed. Ooh, Maniacal Rage. We can move the Maniacal Rage, or the Mask, rather, over here, now that we're not really using that card. Sure.
Don't you have pairs like games that are actually playing so? Yeah.
Okay, Griffin Protector. Winged Words. Probably correct to just cast now. Ooh. Okay, let's make him a little bit bigger. Get in for some damage. Ancestral Blade. They can now pump the protector. Excuse me. Swing in for 4. Probably correct to do this. Oof, they're unsummoning it. I will sack, do them a point of damage. And swing for 4. Another reason why Maniacal Rage is not very good. But I want it to be good. Oh my goodness. This is before damage. I do want to keep my Frostlinks around, so...
Yeah, I already mentioned that. I mean, it's kind of ratty. You can't just cut it.
Inspiring Captain, pretty good. Pumps the Chaplain, so they're going to gain 2 more life. We go to 8, they're at 14. They make the Captain a little bit bigger. We're drawing nothing. We can't block anymore because of Maniacal Rage. So we attack, and then they, if they draw a creature, then that's game over. Otherwise, we're at 1. Okay. So we go to 5, and they go to 11. And we just drew lands. Good game. Alright. Scoop.
Alright, see you guys down there.
Okay, we'll see each other before, okay?
Why are you leaving before us?
So, claim prizes. 450 gems and 2 packs. Let's open them before I end this stream. What do we got? Uncommon wild card. Temple. Solid. Alright. Good pickup. And Bag of Holding. Okay. Getting close to, what is this? 167%. Alright. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time for another episode of Drafting with Dave. Remember to hit that bell up at the top or bottom or wherever it is, somewhere over here. But yeah, thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.